Hello, everyone. It's Tuesday. Oh, God. It's Friday. I definitely need this weekend. Today is Friday Travel Trivia. I'm so excited to start my weekend with you guys by talking travel. Today's topic is Florence, Italy, a city which I have barely skimmed the surface of, but already decided it's one of the most beautiful cities I've ever seen. So I wanted to talk about it today. I'm just going to hang out for a tiny second before I launch into the trivia. I have 3 people here. If you're in the chat, say hi, and then I can say hi back and give you a little shout out. Not entirely 100% sure. Oh, there we go. That's how you see participants. See, I'm learning slowly. Wow, that jumped to 7 viewers. Oh, that's exciting. Hello, everybody. Is my connection cutting in and out? Do I have a bad connection? Hello, 52, and In the Woods with Wolfie. Wolfie's here to win. He's going to defend his trivia title. That's awesome. Bottle Caps is here. It's still cutting in and out. I might have to go inside. Ooh. Let's see. Might have to go inside. Is that any better? No? Can't type. Is that better at all? Technology. Nope. Not choppy, or nope, not better? I wanted to go outside. It's so nice out today. And I left my coffee out there. It looks choppy when I'm looking at the replay. Oh, I hope I don't have technology issues today. Better, but still choppy. I don't know how to fix that. I'm on the best internet that we have. I don't think I have anything else running. Well, I hope you can hear me. Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon for some of us. I'm so sorry that it's choppy. I feel like I shouldn't start talking because then no one will be able to understand what I'm saying. Let's see who we've got, and I can say hello because I just figured out how to look at participants. We've got 52, Bottle Caps, Kane Miles Original Songs, In the Woods with Wolfie, Nathan Likes Drums. Good morning, everybody, or good evening to Kane Miles. I think it looks better. Okay, it's working good enough, Bottle Cap says. All right. So today we're going to talk about Florence, which I visited way back in 2010. I was with 26, 22, something like that. 20, sorry, I'm exaggerating a bit. 20 junior high students when I went to Florence, and 12 of their parents. So I had to chaperone all these kids while walking around the busy city of Florence. Nope, cutting out again. I can see it. I can see I'm cutting out. Ugh. And I can't type. Okay. I don't know what you're missing. Isn't Florence the maid from the Jeffersons? Maybe. I never watched that show. Oh, the video was slow, but the audio was perfect. Okay, so you're not missing what I'm saying. And if you don't see my ugly mug, that's fine. I'm cool with that. Okay, so I was only in Florence, but it was long enough to know that Florence is probably one of the most beautiful cities on earth. And so I wanted to do some trivia on it. Thank you, Bottle Caps. I will tell my husband because he did this fireplace by hand. They're like screw-in bricks, and he did this all by himself. He says, still choppy. I'm calling my internet provider after this and I'm going to complain. Okay, so question number 1. If you can hear me, I can even type it out if you need me to. If I'm still there. My back? This is ridiculous. Ridiculous. And I'm sitting on the floor and my feet hurt. I'm going to sit on this cushion. That's better. Okay, question number 1. Get your type-in fingers ready. What region in Italy is Florence located in? Bottle caps, you kill me. What region in Italy is Florence located in? I guess they would be provinces. Which province or which region is Florence located in? In the Woods with Wolfie. He's on it. He's going to get his prize today. His prize of nothing. It is indeed in Tuscany, the beautiful region of Tuscany, which is famous for its vineyards and its rolling hills and its old farmhouses and rocky bridges and fences. It's so beautiful. I don't have any pictures of Tuscany on me right now, but it's a beautiful place. Hello, Greek Orthodox vlogger. Thanks for joining. I'm glad you like the fireplace. My husband is going to be very happy about that. Bottle Caps hasn't got a clue about Italy. I get to go there in the fall. I'm so excited. I also left my pen outside. I'll be right back. I'll probably cut out anyways. You won't even know I'm gone. There, coffee and pen. So In the Woods with Wolfie gets question number 1. We are talking about Tuscany and the city of Florence for anybody just joining. Oh, video's working perfect now. Of course, when I decide to leave, the video decides to work perfect. Okay, question number 2. Now it's too dark. There we go. What famous family was responsible for most of the architecture in Florence? For most of the art and architecture in Florence. What famous family kind of ran Florence for several years? It really is a nice fireplace. This is going to be a theme through the whole stream. What family was responsible for all of the major architecture? Charles Williamson, welcome. And also, you got a point. It is the Medici family. The famous Medici family kind of ran Florence for almost 100 years through grandfather, father, and son, and then all of the uncles and cousins connected. So it was a three to four generation powerhouse family. Michelangelo, the Ninja Turtle. No Ninja Turtles running the city of Florence. Charles Williamson, you got yourself a point. So the Medici family, they actually have a show about them on Netflix right now. They were super famous, super wealthy family in Florence. They basically are responsible for our modern banking system. They came up with the idea of of holding their money and then loaning it out. So they came up with bank loans. This game sucks. Bottle caps, you'll get some. So the Medici family came up with bank loans. They came up with the idea of interest rates because they loaned out their money, but they weren't going to do it for free because they were crafty people. And they also came up with the idea of insurance. I don't know if that's usury or if usury was interest. But they came up with the idea of insurance too, because they would actually insure ships that would go sailing out because piracy was so bad back then in the Mediterranean. So you can thank the Medici for your interest rates on your house, and you can thank the Medici for insurance. So the good old Medici family. They were also pretty dirty. They liked to kill each other. So lots of Medicis poisoned one another and stabbed one another. And yeah, they were basically the original Mafia family, 52. I love learning about the Medici family. I actually bought like this 4-disc teach the Italian Renaissance to my junior high students. But if you're wanting to know more about the Medici and you don't want to watch like a documentary, go watch the show on Netflix about them because it's really good, lots of drama, and they're just an interesting family. And they basically built the city of Florence from the ground up. So they're really cool to learn about. So it's the Medici's fault Canadians are in all-time bank loans and debt. Maybe? No? I'm going to keep the political stuff out of it, bottle caps, because you and I will get into a fight, and I don't want to do that today because it's the weekend. Okay, so we have 1 point for In the Woods with Wolfie and 1 point for Charles Williamson. Okay, question number 3. Which art gallery in Florence features Botticelli's famous artwork, The Birth of Venus? Botticelli being one of my favorite artists in the whole wide world. He was fat. Botticelli's not really his real name. It's his nickname, and it means little barrel because he was so fat. And The Birth of Venus is the artwork where Venus is standing all robed, and she's coming out of the water, and she's standing on a seashell. And there's like a bunch of nymphs and stuff around her, and she's kind of zooming out of the ocean, standing in a seashell. The Birth of Venus. It's not Finzesi. It's not Fizenzi. I don't even know what that is. I'm sorry. It has a Z in it. You're kind of close. There we go. Charles Williamson. He got another point. It is the Uffizi Gallery. Charles W. I'm just going to call you Charles W because it's easier. Okay, so it is the Uffizi, I think I'm saying that right, Gallery. The word Uffizi means offices because it actually used to be these government offices for the Medici family. Once again, we come back to the Medici family. Bottle caps. Are you a sore loser, bottle caps? Do you like toss the Monopoly board when you lose at Monopoly? Because that was me too, so I feel you. Hello, Donnie Shaw Show. Thanks for joining in. So seeing my name is Charles William, do I still get the points when Charles gets the answer? Maybe. Are you one and the same? Are you on here in 2 different accounts? Donnie, my little nephew. All right, sorry, I forgot what I was talking about. It's hard to do the chat and do the game at the same time and worry about my stupid internet connection. I'm good, Donnie Shaw. It was really choppy at the beginning of the stream, so I had to go inside, and now I'm sitting on the floor, and now my feet are already asleep, but I'll be okay. So yeah, so the Uffizi Gallery, it's just like not the most beautiful gallery. It literally was office buildings. It's a 2-story gallery. There's lots of famous paintings in there. And my favorite one is The Birth of Venus because I love Botticelli. Botticelli also has paintings in the Sistine Chapel. So he's a really well-known artist if you haven't heard of him. Yes, Michelangelo has his big painting in the front and on the ceiling, but Botticelli painted all the paintings around the side of the Sistine Chapel. Question number 4. Which artist carved the insanely famous and also very nude statue of David that stands inside the Galleria dell'Accademia, or it also stands in the Palazzo Vecchio, but we'll talk about that after. But there's a giant statue of David. He's buck naked. Who is the artist that carved the statue? Oh, In the Woods with Wolfie. You're getting demolished here because Charles W. got the right answer again. It is Michelangelo. I kind of gave you a clue on the last question because I dropped his name about the Sistine Chapel. Boris Johnson. No, I don't think Boris Johnson was from Florence. So yes, good old Michelangelo, not the Ninja Turtle, the artist, carved the statue of David, which is gigantic. I think it's like 2 full-grown men tall. So if you had 2 6-foot men standing on each of one on the other's shoulder, you would be as tall as the statue of David. So there's 2 statues of David's in Florence. There's one in the Galleria dell'Accademia, which is the original. And then there is a replica statue standing in the Palazzo Vecchio outside in a square. And the reason they have the replica is because they're protecting the original. But there was a riot in Florence in 1527, and a bunch of people were just tossing crap around the square, and somebody threw a random chair, and the chair smacked into the statue of David and broke his arm off, and like it shattered into a bunch of pieces. So they had to fix the statue of David, and then they left it there for another 300 years. And then they're like, yeah, maybe we should move it inside. So in the late 1800s, they moved it into the Galleria and they built a replica to go outside. So he is quick with Google. Oh, don't gang up on Charles. Maybe he's been to Florence a lot. Have you been to Florence? Has anyone been to Florence? Oh, Charles is an artist. So Florence is a town for artists. You don't even have to go to the galleries to see statues. There's, what is it called? The Loggia, where there's like 15 statues just standing out in this open square. There's statues everywhere. They're in nooks and crannies when you walk down an alleyway or down a street. So if you're an artist, as Charles is, then Florence is the town for you. So anyways, that's a statue of David. I do have a picture of that. If it's not ringing any bells, it's this. Get ready, bottle caps. There's going to be some nudity. It's this guy right here, standing in the square. There's me and one of my students being scandalized by the statue of David. And this is one of the Medici family's palaces. Bottle caps used to date an Italian gal named Florence. Oh, so got a connection. And then I want to show you the Loggia. So here's the Loggia. It's just an open square, and there's just statues everywhere. Like you can see free art anywhere in Florence. So Florence is really a beautiful place. And they're now eating a yogurt over the reactor. Bottle caps. Maybe it was cold on the day the David was carved. Maybe it was just a chilly day. Anyways, Charles, you have 3 points. And Wolfie, you've got 1. So you can still catch up. Well, I am not hung like in anything, bottle caps, so you have to leave me out of this one. All right, we're going to move on from the nude statue of David. Question number 5. What famous cold dessert was invented in Florence? What famous cold dessert? One of my favorite. This one should be easy. I'm waiting to see the rush. What famous cold dessert was invented in Florence? And 50tube got it. It is gelato. So 52. You're on the board with 1 point. Gelato. It's basically ice cream, but it's fresh and it's not frozen like in a tub like ice cream. It's fresh, and then as soon as they get it chilled and iced, they put it out on display with fresh fruit or chocolate, or the only legitimate cold dessert. Yes, so it's not quite like ice cream here, because ice cream here is frozen and refrozen and kept in tubs, and gelato is like super fresh ice cream. It's so good. So here is a tray with some of the fresh gelato that we got to have. And it's just kind of lined up in these long rectangular tubs, and then all the toppings are put on top of it. There's one with like caramel and chocolate drizzled on top. And then I found out in Florence, they really like their Nutella. So we had a lot of Nutella flavored, here it is, Nutella flavored gelato, like massive jugs of Nutella, the size of your head. 52. I had a bad gelato experience in the Forum shops at the Caesar's Palace, because you got to eat it in Italy. Gelato is not gelato unless you're in Italy. And of course, it was invented in the town of Florence. So that's their claim to fame. When you go to Florence, like every block has a gelato shop, and it's like artwork. They kind of compete to see who can make the prettiest gelato. Hello, Anya. Hi, how are you? We are talking about Florence. We're kind of flying through it. I've already just finished question 5. We had some technical difficulties at the beginning. Wrabbit is so old school. Isn't that a scrapbook? Yes, it is. I like my scrapbooks, my digital scrapbooks. Because last time when I tried to use the screen share and show you guys pictures off my computer and stuff, it froze and kicked me out. So already having enough technical difficulties without getting kicked out again. Yes, Anya, we were talking about gelato. So gelato was invented in Florence. So that's what we are talking about. It will only be the only question I get right. No, I've got some more easy ones, 52. You have a very good chance. Are we ready to move on? I don't have a lot of stories about Florence so much because I was there with all these kids. Like, I will show you. This was who, and I was the lead teacher. I was in charge of everything. This is who I was with in Florence. Like, that's a lot of 13-year-olds, 12 to 13-year-olds, and their parents. I never lost a child. I did lose 2 parents. I had a parent get lost at the Eiffel Tower and take a cab back to the hotel without telling anybody. And I had one parent get on the wrong metro line, but she figured it out and came straight back. So we didn't actually lose anybody, but it was the parents that were the most wandering. But that's a big group of kids. So I didn't have many cool stories from Florence because mostly it was me stressing out about children and losing them. I had one that I love her. I don't want to talk about her health issues or anything, but I ended up having to carry her around most of Florence. So my stories are far and few for Florence. No, it was not a romantic trip at all. I would like to go back, though, with my husband. Okay, question 6. Besides gelato, what other commodity in Florence is a must-buy? There's something else that they pride themselves on, that they kind of specialize in. What is the other commodity that you should have to buy when you go to Florence? I'm sure the parents are harder to keep track of. It's true, because the adults, they were like, I know what I'm doing. I'm not scared to get lost. And so they would just kind of do their own thing, but then it would affect the rest of us when we had to kind of figure out where they'd gone. It's not biscotti. It's not wine. It's not antipasto. It's not pizza. It's not a food at all. It's a commodity. It's something that you can pack up and take home. And for some reason, the city of Florence is very famous for this. I don't know if you can Google this one. This was something that I learned when I was in Florence. I had no idea until I was there. Berets? Nope. Souvenirs. Yeah, you can get souvenirs. You can pack up pizza. You can. I wouldn't want to eat it after flying it home. Not salt. Oh, Jada Diva, I didn't even see you slip in here. Hello, thanks for joining. I think I already read one of your answers too, didn't I? I'm horrible at paying attention to the chat. What was the question? It is, what other commodity is it like a must buy when you go to Florence besides the gelato? There's something they're very proud of that they feel that they make better than anybody in Italy. It's kind of like clothes. You're getting closer in the woods with Wolfie. You've been here a while. Well, I'm sorry, Jada Diva. I didn't see you. I should look at the participants list a little more, maybe. If you give up, I can tell you. It has something to do with this tattooed man standing right here. Shoes, shoelaces. You're just going to go through every item of clothing. I'm going to tell you. Should I tell you? It's not dye. It's not hats. It is this right here, what he is making, what he is working on. It's leather. Apparently, Florentine leather is a really specialized item in the city. Gold. I wish. Hello, Arizona Timeless Tourist. Thank you for joining in. We are talking about Florence. I'm just asking people what the hot commodity in Florence is other than gelato, and it is leather. So when we were there, we went to this this leather, not a factory, workshop, this leather artisan workshop, and they showed us every step. They had a hide with the fur on it still, and they showed us how they treated it, which stunk, and they showed us how they literally like beat it with these sticks, these big wooden dowels. They showed us how they softened it and then stretched it out and shaped it and punched it into different shapes and getting the seams together. It was really cool. But apparently Florentine leather is the softest leather that you can buy. So I don't know. I'm not a big leather fan, but I bought a leather purse when I was there, and I bought a leather wallet for my husband, and they engrave it. I got to stamp the engraving on it myself with his initials, which later he ran it through the washing machine, so now it's ruined, but it's a really expensive wallet. That purse was the most expensive purse I ever bought in my life. I think it was like $140. I usually buy like a $20 purse because I'm cheap. And that was the cheapest leather purse they had there. So anyways, leather, apparently. If you go to Florence, one of the things that you have to bring back with you is Florentine leather because it's a special kind of leather. Is the internet getting choppy again? Can you still hear me? I see it. I cannot type. Did you miss all that, or were you still able to hear me at least? Bunch of naked cows running around Florence. Okay, so the sound is still good at least. That's fine. That's kind of all I care about, is that you can hear the facts. So no one got question number 6. All right. We are at, just a little rundown. In the Woods with Wolfie has 1 point. Charles W has 3 points. 52 has 1 point. And nobody got a point for number 6. I made it too hard, I'm sorry. All right, question number 7. Are we good? Are we ready? So here's a number question. You might have to Google it, or you guys can just guess. How many steps lead to the top of the Duomo? The Duomo being the famous dome on top of the Santa Maria del Fiore Cathedral. So it's this giant dome, also built by the Medici family. They had a heck of a time building it, actually, because it's like an architectural nightmare. But how many steps go to the top? 1,400 is way too high, but 100 is too low. And Kane Miles is getting really close with 375. Still low, though. There's no elevator. So if you are in a wheelchair or you have a stroller or something like that, then you're not going to get up to the top of the Duomo. 999, 80, 88. Too high. 375 is the closest. Oh, In the Woods with Wolfie is really close with 400, still too low. Niche Fam, thanks for joining, and you're super close. Do I give it to the exact number or do I just give it to the closest person? Niche Fam right now is the super closest one, but still a little bit too low. Jaded Diva is getting really close with 450, still too low. 450 is the closest one, still too low though. Don't go back down in the Woods with Wolfie and 50 tube. 450 is the closest, but still too low, but just barely. I'm gonna give it to Jaded Diva, who got just under and then just above 450 and then 475. It's a really specific number. It's 463. So I'm going to give that one to Jaded Diva for being the closest, because I don't want to be here for 200 years guessing numbers. So 463 stairs. That is a lot of stairs. There is no elevator. And we went up it. Not everybody in my group went up it. A lot of the kids were like, yeah, we saw it from the bottom, we're good. So we went up these 463 stairs. It's €8 to go up. But you have such an incredible view once you're there. Yes, it is a weird, odd number. If you watch, there's another documentary on how the Medici family commissioned this guy to build the dome. And it's crazy. He had to basically invent a brand new way of doing the skeletal part on the inside, because they were building it brick by brick, layer by layer up. And they were building the scaffolding on the inside to prevent the bricks from falling in. And they had the hole in the top, and it kept raining and it kept flooding the church. But eventually they got it built, but it was quite the problem to build this Duomo. So I think maybe the weird number of steps is because it's just the weird shape of it. Anyway, I will show you what it looks like so you know what I'm talking about. In my scrapbook, bottle caps, if I can find it now. It's not even a big scrapbook. Where are you? So here is the cathedral in the distance. And there's the Duomo. So there's the dome at the top. And it's hollow on the inside. And there's all this artwork. I can't remember the name of the artist, but it's called The Last Judgment on the inside. You can kind of see it here. It's all painted up. So gorgeous. And you can climb, you have to climb up on the interior of the Duomo, and then you go through this little door to the outside. And there, the view of Florence from the top of the Duomo is incredible. It's all those terracotta, red tiled roof buildings. It's just gorgeous from the view of the Duomo. So if you're capable of climbing all those 463 stairs, I recommend doing so, because you will not regret the view once you get to the top. I can find a better picture of the actual, like there's the dome there, and a beautiful picture of me, all black. So that's probably the big thing to go see in Florence is the Cathedral Santa Maria del Fiore and the Duomo. And there's also something called the bell tower attached to it, which is, it's a separate structure. This thing right here, it's right, here's the cathedral right here, and the Duomo is right in the back there. But here's the bell tower. It's a separate structure. It's €6 to go to the top. Not quite as many stairs as the Duomo. Also has a really nice view. And so that's my next question is, speaking of the bell tower, what is its other name? What is its Italian name? So if you say you want to go up the bell tower and someone's like, what's that? You should be able to know the other name. What would you call the bell tower? Wait, I'm missing the chat. There's something about nuclear waste. Oh, Wolfie got timed out. I hope you don't get timed out again. I don't know what bottle caps and Donnie are talking about. So what is the other name of the bell tower, the official name? This one might be a Google question. I didn't say you couldn't Google. $52, you've got most of it. Gelato is part of the answer. Yeah, don't mess with bottle caps. He's my moderator. I wonder if he did time you up, Wolfie. Any bell tower I ever saw was tall and noisy. This one wasn't. This one was beautiful. There we go, 52. I knew you'd get the rest of the answer. It's the Campanelli di Giotto, or Giotto's Campanelli. Campanelli is the Italian word for bell tower, and Giotto is the architect. So not that hard to be an architect for a rectangular shaped bell tower, but he did a good job. It's very beautiful. Bottle caps. I didn't time anybody. Okay. Donnie Shaw. See, bottle caps, you've got some power now. Anya, you got the right answer. You're just a smidge too slow. 52 got the answer before you. But campanologists. Bell ringers. I don't think they didn't ring the bell while we were in there. It would have been interesting to see how loud it was from standing in the bell tower. But you could hear it all over Florence when they did ring it. Yeah, so Giotto's Campanelli. Giotto's the guy that built that. He's not the same guy that built the Duomo, though. Different guy. So that point went to 52. All right, that was question 8. Where are we at? I think Wolfie has 1 point. Charles W. still has 3. 52 has 2 now. And Jada Diva has 1 point. It's what the bell ringers are called. Campanologists? Is that for real? I want to be a campanologist. Okay, question number 9. Of the famous 7 bridges that are in Florence, which one is the most famous and why? This is probably the only bridge that people would be able to know the name of if you're quizzing them on Florence. There's 7 bridges that cross the river. One of them is super duper famous. And what's its name and why? And then I have a little story that goes along with that. It's not London Bridge. London Bridge would be in London. It's actually not the real bridge. It's not the Bridge of Sighs. The Bridge of Sighs is in Venice. Ponte Vecchio. Anya got that one. Ponte Vecchio is the famous bridge in Florence. Charles W., I get to go on the Bridge of Sighs in the fall. I'm so excited. They called it the Bridge of Sighs because all the prisoners were crossing it from the prison to the place where they were going to get hung. So they were sighing as they crossed over in despair. But yes, Anya got it. Ponte Vecchio. Now, does anyone know why it's so famous? This is not just like an ordinary bridge. The other 6 are kind of just ordinary bridges, but this one is a little bit different, and that's why it's so famous. Bottle Caps is just naming random bridges around the world. Oh, it's like the peanut gallery in the side. You know those Muppets that were always just making fun of everybody? That's Bottle Caps. It's big, but that's not why, Wolfie. There's a couple other bridges in Florence that are pretty large too. This one's kind of cool. When you're on it, you don't even realize it's a bridge. Yes, Anya. Yes, there's little stores on it. So I'll find a photo. But when you cross Ponte Vecchio, as soon as you step onto the bridge, it doesn't even feel like you're on a bridge anymore. It feels like you're just walking down a normal street that's filled with shops and little market stalls. Where is my picture of it? I don't know. Here we go. Okay. So here's the bridge. I don't know if you can see that, but there's like all these little buildings. There's actually like apartment buildings. You can live on Ponte Vecchio, or you could. And then there's shops below. So it's just like a normal street, but it's just built across the river. And then when you're there, this is what it looks like. Like these are the stores, and then here's the little apartment buildings up here. Like there's jewelry stores and all sorts of things right on top of the bridge. Never did I say you were old. I said you like the peanut gallery bottle caps. Those guys are entertaining. Yes, and Kane, you stole my fact. You stole my story. So Ponte Vecchio also comes with a cool historical story, other than the fact that it is a major shopping center there. But when the Germans came into Italy during World War II, they bombed all of the bridges. Of the 7 bridges, they bombed all of the 6 main bridges so that they could control the population within Florence. But Hitler was like, I like Ponte Vecchio. It's very beautiful. And so he would not allow the troops to bomb Ponte Vecchio. So we all know Hitler thought he was this major art aficionado. He was like wanting to open the world's biggest gallery in his name. He painted himself, so he thought he was like really good with art. And so he found Ponte Vecchio to be like a piece of art, and so he wouldn't let the Germans bomb it. So not often does anybody say thank goodness for Hitler, because that's a really horrible thing to say, but thank goodness Hitler didn't bomb the bridge because he liked it. So he preserved this awesome piece of history for us. And yeah, so also another fact then, don't say Hitler, the screen will go black. Okay. Thank goodness that German guy didn't bomb the bridge. Yeah, so all the other 6 bridges in Florence are not the originals. They all had to be rebuilt. So they're kind of a modern bridge now, and they don't look at all like what they used to look like. He's alive in Argentina. I hope not. All right. Who got that one? Anya got that one. Perfect. Okay, so 1 point for Anya. Bottle caps, nobody likes the H word. He was a jerk. Okay. Yeah, the 2 old parts sitting in the balcony. I like those guys. What is their one joke? The guys from the Muppets. That one wasn't half bad. And then the other guy goes, wasn't half good either. I like using that. I hope you're not thinking that about my stream. All right, last question. I decided to make the last question easy. I've already mentioned this once in the stream if you were paying attention. What is the currency in Florence, and what did it replace? So what is the current currency in Florence? And bonus point, so this one's worth 2. Bonus point for what it replaced. And here we go back with the rabbit and the gun. I thought we were friends, bottle caps. I got a rabbit and a heart the other day. It was really exciting. Okay, Wolfie got 0.1. It is currently the euro. So 1 point for In the Woods with Wolfie because he got the euro. And Charles W. got the bonus point. They are replacing the lira. So they are currently using the euro. I don't know how happy they are about it, but that's their current currency. And it used to be the lira. Does anybody remember the game Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego? I don't know if I'm aging myself because I'm only 29, but too late. Sorry, Anya. When I was a kid, I used to play this game Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego. You'd have to chase all the criminals around the world, and you'd have to know things like the flag of the country and the currency of the country. And so that's how I always remembered that Italy had the lira, because that's what Carmen Sandiego would use when she was escaping to Florence. But now that it's the euro, I don't know how good Carmen Sandiego would be, because you give the clue, yeah, she's using euros. Well, it could be any country. So that question was a double header, so 1 for Wolfie and 1 for Charles. Kane Miles, you got to go. Thank you for tuning in. that was fun. I hope you learned something about Florence. It's a really beautiful city, so if you ever have the chance to go, you should really try and get there and eat some gelato and go look at some art, because those are the two main things in Florence, and buy some leather. So I'm gonna do a tally, and then I think we're just about done. I try to keep it to 45 minutes to an hour because I don't want to use up all your afternoon. So In the Woods with Wolfie has 2 points for In the Woods with Wolfie. Charles W has 1, 2, 3, 4 points. So 4 for Charles, he's ahead. Anya got 1. 52 got 2. And Jada Diva got 1. So today our winner is Charles W. Charles Williamson, which is not you In the Woods with Wolfie, even though that's apparently your name too. So Charles, when I post this video for the replay, you're gonna get a shout out and a link back to your channel. That's the only thing I can offer you as a prize, but I hope that's exciting enough. Bottle caps. Bottle caps got 0 points. You were busy being a moderator. You were doing your job. So I'm proud of you for doing your job. Thanks to everybody for joining in. I'm sorry I didn't have any props to show you today. I looked everywhere for my leather purse to show you and I can't find it. And my husband's wallet, he destroyed it. So it's gone. But I appreciate you guys joining in, and I hope that you have a good weekend, and I hope that you do something exciting. And I'll be posting a new video on Sunday, so make sure you check that out. That's the best you can do for a prize. You know what, Bottle Caps? I'm thinking about getting some merchandise. I'm talking to ATGH Travels right now, and they're going to help me figure out how to do some merchandising. So I will let you know, and hopefully somebody buys some. I'm glad you had fun, Wolfie. Thanks for joining. Skylark, thanks for coming in. I didn't see you slip in, but I'm glad you're here. And I hope you guys all have a great weekend. Bye. See you next Friday.